The principal military explosives are small arms ammunition, anti-aircraft and machine guns, anti-tank guns, chemical warfare ammunition, gas, smoke, and incendiaries, rifle grenades, hand grenades, fuses of all types, blasting caps, anti-tank mines and fuses, pyrotechnics, ground signals, flares, star and drift signals, spotting charges and other types, ammunition for cannon, separate loading shells, smokeless powder for cannon, armor-piercing shells, trench mortar ammunition, bombs, torpedoes. There are many other types of explosives and military ammunition that are named in the regulations.
Fire! The giant artillery gun next to him roared, and he savored the seconds as the shell flew through the air and exploded in the city below him, exactly in the neighborhood that he was targeting. The explosion shattered one side of a tall apartment building. "Good," he told his team. "Again!" They scrambled to load the weapon with a new high-explosive shell. They were a good team, fast and loyal. None of them liked being out here in the hot sun, working hard and vulnerable to counterbattery fire in order to shell their own capital city. But the traitorous insurgents had reportedly captured that neighborhood yesterday, and they could not be allowed to fortify it. He would blast that entire place into rubble rather than let the rebels hold it. The apartment building was burning, filling the sky with a black plume of smoke. For a second, the smoke seemed to take the shape of a face. His wife's face. He hadn't been home in several days, but yesterday morning, his wife had braved the snipers to visit him at his garrison.
"I'm leaving,"
she said.
"I'll stay at my sister's place by the coast."
"But that's insurgent-controlled territory," he scowled.
"It's safe,"
she countered.
"There hasn't been fighting there for months."
He stared into her eyes, unblinking, unsmiling. "I'll come for you when the war is over."
"No! Don't come looking for me! I won't come back to you! This war has changed you!
"I'm just doing my job."
"You're shelling our neighbors!"
she cried in anger. It was true, the buildings that he was targeting were less than a kilometer from their own house. They used to have friends there. "They're traitors," he replied. "Just like you." Then she was gone, leaving him to hurriedly load artillery shells into a truck for transport to the ridge line overlooking the city, where his beloved howitzer battery waited for him. Back in the present moment, he scanned the city below him. The shattered apartment building still burned, and the artillery gun was loaded and ready. He ordered his men to raise the barrel of the gun by a few degrees. His deputy gave him a nervous, sidelong glance, but said nothing. It was a good fire team that he had, very fast and loyal. They would never question his orders, for they knew that he would shoot them if they did. "Fire!" he ordered when the weapon was ready, and it roared for the 30th time that day. He savored the seconds until the shell exploded in an empty school just a block from his own neighborhood. The blast was strong enough to blow out the windows in the butcher shop, where he sometimes picked up meat on his way home from work, and close enough to his home to maybe knock his wedding pictures off the walls. He smiled. He could almost see his own house through the black haze. He was sure that he could hit it, merely by having his men raise the barrel another degree or so. But no. His last shot was already outside the designated target zone, and intel had not yet confirmed that his own neighborhood was in the hands of the insurgents. One stray shell was acceptable, but two would be suspicious. His commanding officer, the colonel, would be angry at repeated shelling of friendly neighborhoods. Anyway, his wife wouldn't be at their home anymore. She would have fled the city immediately after their talk yesterday. He sighed and ordered his men to reload the weapon and lower the barrel back to its original firing position. Adjacent to the apartment building they had struck a few minutes earlier, another tall building stood, defiant, as if mocking him with its continued existence. Perhaps he could ruin this one with a single shell as well. With luck, he could crumple the whole thing to the ground. He thought of the hundreds of artillery shells stored nearby in a makeshift ammo depot. If he aimed well and worked efficiently, he could probably flatten the entire neighborhood today. How many traitors could he kill? He pictured the neighborhood reduced to smoldering rubble, with hundreds of mangled corpses scattered around it. All the corpses had his wife's face. When the artillery gun was ready, he wiped away a tear and yelled, "Fire!"